Never was unfaithful to my wife. I just still had things I was struggling with mentally that I needed help in, and I didn't understand what was going on. And so now that I discovered that, I want to share with you what I have learned. Being married with a single mindset, that is what we're going to discuss today. When you get married, after the Facebook likes, the congratulations, the hearts, the likes, the shares, people sewing into you, now you actually got to do the work. One of the things that I ran into, like one problem I ran into when in the beginning stages of the marriage, I've been married a year now, I still had the mindset of a single person. What does that mean? So when I was single, I would come home. If I wanted to go to sleep, I would sleep for 3 or 4 hours if I wanted to do that. And then I would wake up 8, 9 o'clock, maybe get me something to eat, watch TV, play my game, whatever it is that I wanted to do. But what I would say is when you get married, things begin to change, because now you got to take into consideration how your family is feeling about whatever it is that you're doing. So what does that actually look like? So when you have a family, you can't come home and just, okay, I just want to sleep. Even though that sounds simple, you may have things that need to be done around the house. There may be things that need to be done or need to be discussed. And one of the problems were for me is that I just wanted my wife to take care of everything. Take the responsibility off me, you do it. I didn't really want to be accountable for anything when we first got married. And that right there causes strife in the relationship, because when I was growing up, all I seen was my mom wash the dishes, my dad worked, paid the bills, my mom made dinner, made the breakfast, your dad got the biggest piece of chicken. And that's what I seen. And my dad was able to kind of like sit back, watch TV, feet up, get served his plate, get the Kool-Aid, whatever it is that he wanted to do. And if he wanted to go to the club or whatever he wanted to do when we were younger, he did it. So I applied that same mindset and that same way of living to my marriage, where I felt like, okay, if I wanted to do something, I just do it. And now you are trying to do things without communicating with your wife. And when you do that, that starts problems, that start issues, because if she has something planned on that specific day, and you just kind of doing whatever it is that you wanted to do, then what if she has something planned for you all together, and now that can possibly cause friction because I had something, but if you didn't tell me that you wanted to do this or you was going to go here, that could begin to be problematic, and especially when we had Nolan. Because when I came home, I was just like, okay, I can give you a rest for a little bit, but I want to kind of go back to what I was doing. I've been at work all day. I use me being at work all day as an excuse to be able to do nothing after I got off work. So number one, I said all that to say, number one, in order to be able to overcome the single mindset while you are married, you have to prioritize your family. So what that looks like is making sure that you are putting dates on the calendar. Understand that you may be doing something. Let's just say, for example, if you link up with the guys and play basketball 3 or 4 days a week, now that you're married and you have a family, you may not be able to do it like you did when you were single. You can still link up with them and hang out with them, but you have to, okay, now the season has changed. Let me make sure that I prioritize my family, and maybe I can still work out, but maybe let me see if I could be able to work out before I go to work, or let me see if I can work out during a lunch break, or let me see if I can be able to maybe link up with the guys maybe once a week, and then I can begin to prioritize my family during this duration of time. So making sure that you prioritize your family is one way, is a way that you can be able to overcome the single mindset while you're married. Number two, another way that you can begin to overcome the single mindset while you are married is you have to begin to surround yourself with married men. Not saying that you can't hang out with single men, not saying that you can't work out with them or catch a lunch and he has to be married in order for me to hang around with him. But understand that since the season has changed, your sphere of influence has to change as well, because here's how, this is my personal opinion. I can't say that this facts or anything like that. This is just how I personally feel. Either you're going to influence me or I'm going to influence you. That's how I personally feel. I don't think that it's an in-between in that. Is if I'm constantly hanging around with you, I'm going to share with you how God is leading me in this area, or you're going to express to me on how you feel or what you got going. And so I think that somebody is going to influence somebody. And what helps me with relationships, if I'm around somebody that is not single, that is single, either we got to have boundaries on what we discuss, or I have to understand what the value is for me being around you. So what that means is, let's say, for example, I'm hanging around somebody that's single and we're working out. I may not need to hear about your experience that you are having in the world. Or if you are sharing that with me, then I can show you how God has led me to a different path, and that can be an inspiration to you. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. Or if I'm around you, then we understand what the value is. Okay, I'm helping you get to your next level in this area. It may be fitness, but you and I, we have understanding that, okay, I may not need to talk to him about that because he's married. And so it's respect. And that's how I feel. And what I could be able to share with you is what I have learned in marriage. And that's I just think that it has to be boundaries in a relationship. I believe that's one of the best ways to put it. If it's a person that if I'm hanging around with that is single and not married, it has definitely have to be boundaries. But I believe that for me, I have changed my sphere of influence. And I'm hanging around more married men, and I'm having a conversation about marriage. And if you are hanging around men that are of like mind, and you are prioritizing your family, these are two ways that can help you overcome a single mindset, even though you're married. Number three, accountability. I think that right there has really been helping my marriage. Having somebody that's more seasoned than me in this area, that can mentor me, that can educate me on what it takes to have a successful marriage. Now let's make sure that we're clear on something. No marriage is perfect. No marriage is going to be perfect. I don't care who they are. There are going to be things that you go through. This is a lifetime commitment. I think that this is just how I feel off the back. I can't say that this is spiritual or anything like that. We go to work and we get educated on our jobs on our roles at our job. We educate ourselves on being business owners. We educate ourselves on how to take care of our bodies and how to take care of our minds and even our finances. I take the same approach with marriage. I don't try to wing it. What I'm starting to look into is, I understand that everybody marriage may be differently and they got different setup, but somebody knows something. Somebody has been through it where they could be able to let me know something about marriage. I understand that everybody's different. I get that. But somebody knows something that I can maybe learn something, read something, or listen to something that I can be able to apply in my marriage that could help take it to the next level. And so that's where I'm at on things. It's just making sure that you have that mentorship, and you have that mentorship that could possibly educate you. And sometimes you may not personally have that person that you could go to, and that's cool. And we can believe and begin to pray that God sends that right person for you. But in the meantime, there are books, there are podcasts that you could be able to listen to. There's YouTube videos, there are sermons out there. You can learn something that you can be able to apply to your marriage to help you all in different areas of that marriage. And these are different ways where I believe that you could begin to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, where you can go from, even though I'm married, I transfer that single mindset into knowing that this is what God has called me to. And live in your now, live in your reality, and not continue to live in your past. That's basically where I'm going with this conversation. And so as we keep God first, as we prioritize our family, as we change our sphere of influence, where we're not saying that we're dismissing people that we love, that we care about, that are single, and it may be time that you do. You have to begin to see God on what that looks like for you. But you do have to surround yourself with people of like mind, that you all are walking in the same direction, where you guys can be able to sharpen each other. How can two walk together unless they agree? I believe in that, where we can be able to walk together, and iron sharpening iron. We can we're going in the same direction. We're trying to be faithful, or wanting to be faithful to our wives. And we're headed in that direction, and we're sharpening each other to keep each other accountable in that area, so that we can continue to remain faithful to what God has assigned us to. That's where I'm at mentally about it. You know what I'm saying? And so, but as we keep God first, as we prioritize our family, as we begin to seek mentorship, surround ourselves with the right people, I believe that we can be able to come out of that single mindset, even though we're married. I want you to put in the comments on what has helped you transfer from being single, doing your thing whenever you wanted to do it. Now that you're married, how did that transition look for you? What did you do to live in your now? What did you do to live in your reality and just say, hey, I'm married, and these are the expectations for this commitment that I have, that God has called me to? And I pray that bless you. I pray that you found value in that. And I hope and pray that everything continues to work out for you in your marriage and what God has called you to do. And look forward to part 2 of I am married, but I still struggle with a single mindset. It's going to be good. This is a series that I wanted to start because this is what I needed when I first got married. I was struggling with the single mindset. I never was unfaithful to my wife. I just still had things I was struggling with mentally that I needed help in, and I didn't understand what was going on. And so now that I discovered that, I want to share with you what I have learned.